Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatimah Sura binti Zahari. My group members is Nur Alia binti Muhammad Tarmizi and Safira Putri Ramadhani binti Hashim. Our topic today is poverty in Malaysia. This topic represent for our subject is RPK343 for social aspect in planning, semester 2, 2020 and 2021.
Poverty is a condition in which a person does not have sufficient property or income to meet the necessities of life. In modern society, poverty is usually equated with the problem of lack of money. In more detail, poverty has dimensions such as situation of lack of basic necessities such as lack of food, clothing, and shelter. A description of an economic situation in which a person does not have the capital or productivity that can generate wealth. The phenomenon of poverty can be described in cyclical form. The cycle begins when a person is unable to make any savings to be used in economic investment, such as education and even the purchase of production equipment. As a result of the absence of this investment, the productivity of the person will decrease and income will also decrease. Showing the table of average poverty line per Malaysian household, sourced from Economic Planning Unit 2016. The average poverty line income for 2014 was 930 ringgit for Peninsular Malaysia and 1,117 ringgit for Sabah and Labuan and 919 ringgit for Sarawak. The hardcore poverty is set at 580 ringgit for Peninsular Malaysia, 710 for Sabah and Labuan, and 660 ringgit for Sarawak. The Government Transformation Programme (GTP) targets the poverty rate to be reduced to 2.8% by 2020. However, the country's poverty in 2015 has decreased to 0.6% compared to 3.8% in 2019.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am Safira and I will be presenting the 4 approaches to addressing poverty in Malaysia. First approach is to educate and lift the level of education among the poor children in school and teach them business practices that can help them gain a higher income job and possibly run a company. Second, strengthen social safety nets and provide government-funded empowerment. And the third one is create policy that promote economic development. And lastly, ensure income is redistributed to uplift those in poverty. Malaysia does conduct numbers of initiatives and policy to overcome poverty among citizens. Below are the examples of initiatives and policy that have been done by the Malaysia government. First is advancing agriculture sector, strengthening small-medium enterprises, improving welfare of students, financial aid, increasing home ownership, expanding public health facility, enhancing social safety nets, improving retirement scheme, and lastly microfinance. Financial aid is one of the famous initiatives that Malaysia government have been conducted through these years. Each financial aid program targeting different population and group of people. There are 2 types of financial aid, the one-off aid and by phase financial aid. And the example of financial aid that have been conducted in Malaysia is BPR 2021, that is Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat, PSH, Bantuan Sara Hidup Rakyat, and BRIM, Bantuan Rakyat Satu Malaysia. These are the financial aid that have been given by the Malaysia government. Next, we will talk about the thought on financial aid in fighting poverty in Malaysia. Financial aid is an act of hand out money to the people in need, such as the elderly, disabled people, students, and low-income groups. Financial aid does help these people as they can use the money on food, essentials, study, and medical purposes. This can help people to fight poverty in Malaysia, but the negative side of the financial aid is political agenda behind it. Some financial aid are given for the political benefits that can harm the Malaysia's future.
Assalamualaikum and have a nice day. My name is Fatimah Stura binti Zahari. I will discuss about who are affected by poverty. First, a neighborhood in the rural areas. And second is the single mothers or parents who live in urban areas. The poor is mostly made up of rural communities who cannot afford the facilities provided by the government simply because they live in poverty and destitution. It is associated with their remote environment and lack of access to progress, especially from the aspect of education. This causes the rural community, especially students, are often left behind in obtaining educational progress to improve their living standards. A neighborhood in the rural area is the poor student who lack financial resources may have to assist their parents in earning a living to supplement their family income. We go to the single mother parents who live in urban areas. The poverty experienced by a single mother will have an impact on the children under a controlled living in the city. This means that time to study and do homework will be reduced. This article are from Malaysia 2002. The state of poverty experience to some extent affect the level of accessibility in providing a perfect education to children at the secondary or primary school level. The children from single mothers were also more likely to drop out of school earlier. Okay, my name is Fatimah Stura binti Zahari. I will talk about the differences between urban poor and rural poor. What the similarities of the definition of poor. Okay, among the characteristics of these two types of poverty can be said in general, the poor are those who lack income, do not have property, low educational standards, difficult to compete for job in the sector, formal. This problem is the same in urban areas as well as in rural areas. So, what is the urban poor? Urban poor is need the cost of living high, had to work more to earn money, a lot of work available making it easier for them to find income, but it may pay off low. The problem of a national or world economic recession reduce ease of finding food, then will increase the rate of urban poverty. And all the services are available and exposed to all the inhabitants of the city. Those who are poor in the city are consist of those who receive low income but still have the opportunity to enjoy social and community facility found in cities such as school, college, hospitals, recreational and entertainment facilities, communications and transportation. And then we go to the what is the urban or rural poor. In rural poor, basic amenities are not plentiful in the countryside. The poor are composed from the low income group and do not receive basic amenities and community facilities.
As a conclusion, Development is an indicator of the progress achieved for a country. In Malaysia, the existence of buildings will drive economic growth, which in turn attracts more foreign investors to the country. In addition, the government will formulate various new strategies and methods in an effort to eradicate poverty in line with the current factors. For example, PPR is a government program for resettlement of squatters and meeting the housing needs of the low-income group B40 with a total household income below 3,000 per month. This project is for the urban poor who mostly live in People's Housing Program PPR houses in several locations in the capital. Individual business. One can strive to solve the problem of poverty faced, and one of the effective ways to overcome poverty is through education. Education is an effective way to overcome poverty because with higher education, one can get out from the cocoon of poverty by getting a job that can guarantee a better future and economy. Second, aid to the poor. Giving help to the poor is a good way to help the less fortunate in society. However, such a method will not be able to alleviate the burden of the poor because the assistance provided either from the government, welfare agencies, or individuals can only last for a short time.
Okay, that's all from our groups. We want to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing us to complete our assignment project for the RPK 343, and our topic is poverty in Malaysia today. And thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum.